So last Thursday we got the new earrings. It can be a little confusing as to which earring to go for, as there are now 6 different types, all with different stats and different traits. The traits are actually pretty special, as they give the new directional attack stats for back, side, and the front. Just be aware of the area of these directions. You have a 90-degree cone behind you, that's your back attacks. A 90-degree cone in front of you, that's all the front attacks, and then a 90-degree arc on either side. So the biggest total area is always the side. And that's something to keep in mind in PvP when you're attacking your opponents. The likelihood is the highest that you'll attack them from the side in a chaotic fight. However, if you're a dagger user who has Shadow Strike and Frenzied Sword Dance, you can guarantee back attacks. Similarly, if you're a crossbow user with Selfless Diffusion, you can also guarantee back attacks. You can sometimes do it with Spear with Abyssal Cleave and Tempest Strike. So what you end up with are these are the best traits to use if you're a dagger or crossbow, sometimes Spear. These are for everybody else in large scale, and then these for small scale. And yes, you may note, back attack traits can go to 160 versus side and front only getting to 120. Again, the reasoning for large scale to have more side focus on your traits is because of that chaos. Especially if you're a ranged damage dealer, you don't necessarily know which direction your enemy is going to be always, and so the highest likelihood is that they'll be showing you their side, because that's the largest area on our characters. In smaller scale, your enemies are generally going to be focused on you, they know where you're looking, and if you're attacking them, they're generally going to be looking at you back. So you will usually be attacking them from the front, and therefore you want these traits. You can of course prioritize crit chance depending on your build instead of say extra hit chance if you don't need that. That's across these examples too. Now if you're looking at simple PvE, keep in mind of these flat directional boosts. You can gain 3% extra critical hit chance for back attacks. You will usually want to make the most of that. Therefore, as a damage dealer, you will usually want those back attack traits, the heavy attack and the crit strike, and you usually don't need the hit chance in PvE, so you can have the side heavy attack for when that might apply. If you're the tanking character who's in the front, has the aggro, you want to have those front attack stats with then like the side instead of the hit chance, just because you may not need that hit chance. So once you know what traits you want to go for, you then look at the different types of earrings. And the first 2 different ones to look at are always going to be the easy accessible ones to get from the 4-star dungeon. And both of these have different traits. One has back and side, and the other is front and side. So these earrings of Forlorn Elegance with the dexterity, front evasion, mana cost efficiency, and side and front traits, I would generally use as the tank as a budget earring. Or if the tank wants to focus more on damage, that extra dexterity can help with the crit chance and attack speed. In terms of the front evasion, also very good when you're getting attacked from the front, like small scale PvP or just general PvE when you're that tank and all the mobs and boss are focusing you. Again, in PvP it's not good against say daggers and crossbows because they can guarantee back attacks on you. So I hope you understand when this is a good earring. Now this other earring with the wisdom, mana regen, front damage reduction, back and side traits is very useful for the damage dealers, and this is generally what you want to go with. Wisdom is good for max damage, mana cooldown, mana regen to make sure you aren't running out of that, and then the front damage reduction is kind of useless. Even in PvP scene, it's kind of useless because you generally want damage reduction against crossbows, but since they can say guarantee back attacks on you, it's irrelevant. Again, the traits, you can get the back attack ones and the side attack ones like you want for PvE, and then for a damage dealer in PvP. So I hope you know when this is a good earring to get. It's also a very budget friendly one. The next earring is from Nebula and Conquest chests. They have also added it to the solo dungeons that you can obtain them just here, but super low drop rate. 2.5%, and then you got to get the lucky draw out of these. But these Blood Bright earrings, you can see, have back traits and side traits, so good for where that applies. And then they have the Dexterity Perception, good damage stats, especially if trying to get the hit chance, buff duration. Then you have Front Evasion. Again, not so good against, say, daggers and crossbows, but otherwise useful in smaller scale when against like ranged enemies, or when you can position yourself against other weapon combos. Side Heavy Attack Evasion, pretty useful, especially in the chaos fights where you can't really focus against everybody and you just get hit here and there. This just flat out reduces anybody who's attacking you, and this is probably one of the best earrings to go for because of that stat. It's very powerful. The other earrings, the gilded ones, are the best for like tanks who are stacking endurance, also maybe for bruisers. That fortitude is huge, allowing you to, say, get to 60 now without having to spend too many like extra points and getting all that extra endurance if you're running, say, the Vanguard set. You do have front damage reduction, which again is kind of useless against crossbows because they'll be attacking you from the back. And then front endurance, somewhat useful, but again not against daggers and crossbows. The traits are side traits and front traits, so again pretty good if you're that tank and you might just want to prioritize like side hit and front hit just to try and land your hits, because you generally aren't doing that much damage unless you're like a bruiser. The final two earrings are from the arch bosses, Cordy and Della's Noah. This one with Wisdom, Perception, and then back traits, side traits, pretty good for damage dealers here. Side Evasion, useful for like large scale. Front Heavy Attack Evasion, useful in like smaller scale. And finally the Della's Noah earrings with the Wisdom and Strength. The side damage reduction, not very useful again because crossbows back attacks. Front Endurance, good in small scale. And then back traits and side traits. So I hope that clears some things up for you. Of course, check out people's builds and what they will go for, particularly if you're going to invest heavily into something that's like a very low drop rate. If you do manage to get the Nebula or Arch Boss earrings, if you have the option to sell it, always make sure that it's a good investment if you're wanting to equip it and actually use it. Out of all of them, this is probably the most game-changing one, the gilded ones, giving that extra fortitude just for those people who stack the Vanguard set. For everybody else, there's generally no big harm running these from the 4-star dungeon. The one with Wisdom for damage dealers where you're going to get the back attack traits, and then the one with Dexterity for the front attack traits and the front evasion for particularly PvE, good for tanking, and can still be somewhat useful for a small scale evasion build. But in most cases, this one will just be better with the extra heavy attack evasion for the side, but you would be super lucky to get it. Again, as I showed with how I would prioritize the traits, again it can vary a little bit, particularly in PvP, what weapon combo you are exactly. Just be aware, daggers and crossbows being able to take advantage of guaranteed back attacks. Other weapons have perks from landing, say, side or back attacks. That's good and all, but if you can't guarantee it, doesn't necessarily mean you should be stacking that stat in other areas as well, like the earrings. If I'm a greatsword user with also the dagger, there's no point stacking, say, side attack stats because I'd just be better having the back attacks, and I would gain those guaranteed back attacks from the dagger and being able to gain the extra bonuses for that here as well. Like Ascending Slash would now have that extra hit chance for attacking in the back. So I hope that clears some things up for you guys. For me personally, on my Invocator, I'm just going to go with these. And I'm going to take my time with upgrading the traits. They're quite expensive right now. And honestly, there's no real rush. Wait till the prices drop over time. I also have the problem that a lot of the time I am the one tanking as the top damage dealer in the group on Invocator. And so the boss is targeting me, therefore I'm in the front, therefore I would not gain any benefit from, say, having back attack traits. I would still get the back attack traits, hoping when raids come out that actual proper tanks will be there, and then I can get also the extra 3% critical hit chance for attacking with back attacks, and also gaining my perks with the new skills having extra damage and critical hit chance for side and back attacks. If you have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Again, be sure to check out what other people say, particularly in terms of PvP. It can have different edge cases depending on the weapon combos and what style of play you're playing with all the different skills. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.